Good afternoon, Free Enterprise fans. I'm Commander Leonhardt, and I'm joined here by Groundflyer on comms. We've got a tiebreaker match for you. Slippery42 and McBain are playing one last match to see who gets the number 16 spot in the upcoming playoffs. Groundflyer, how do you think this match is going to go?
Gosh, I don't know. Honestly, both these players have been playing really, really great to get to this point. 3-3, given the match, given the round of 32 and the players available. There's some nasty players in here. I've been watching both of these guys the entire time and just seeing how well they've been doing. Slippery was in my Siren Group represent, and McBain it has been somebody I've considered a really good dark horse candidate for a while. He's been playing really, really well. Very good technique, very efficient. So this could go either way, really, and I'm super excited to see it. I mean, we have, 15 people in the playoffs ready to go for the next round starting very, very soon, and this is the 16th. These two are tied at 3-3, and we need to figure out as well. They also have the same strength of schedule, so we need to figure out which one of these will advance and which will go home. What do you think about these objectives?
Objectives look spicy. We've got defeat the bosses of Baron Inn and defeat the boss of Mist Cave, both staring you in the face the moment you get started. A Rosa start makes you feel good about things as you go. Complete the sealed cave could be a little rude depending on who's hanging down there, but overall, this has some potential.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I'm happy, though, that it's complete the sealed cave and not just open the sealed cave, or this could be like a 3-minute seed. But
right.
This definitely is screaming jet, and I am here for that.
Well, we will just have to see.
Absolutely. And by the way, everybody, stay tuned. After this match, we are going to have the coin flip to determine the number 4 spot. So the top 4 all get to pick in the draft who they're going to be playing against, who's going to be in their quadrant for the next round. So make sure you stay tuned and see who the number 4 is, because it's between Invenerable and Baka Shinobi, and we are doing a coin flip to determine who will get that chance.
Also, I just noticed that Scala set up the fake objectives with tie in records, tie in strength of schedule, and has those two marked off, because that is what has happened so far. Let's hope we don't light up objective 3.
I didn't even notice the objectives. That's so good. That's amazing. But honestly, we don't want Scala to cry.
No,
but
we don't.
Tie would be super cool too. I'm not gonna lie.
No, Groundflyer, no.
Okay. I'm sorry. Can't help. But yeah, Rosa start though. How do you feel about Rosa? Like, that's a great character to have.
Rosa is an auto take for me when I come across her, even on Permajoin. She's a blue I can build a party around. I've got my white mage. She's going to be tough enough to handle big bangs at the end if I can find her any respectable gear at all. Like, a silent staff alone might get the job done. So always very happy to see her. And it just checks off that big box labeled white mage.
Yeah, having that healer, having the security of knowing you can actually keep people from just dying instantly is nice.
Yeah. And if you find a good bow, good arrows, or if you're really lucky and find a heroine robe, you've got DPS solved as well.
Ooh, early heroine robes. You never feel bad about getting those. Oh, and we are started.
So, who's Rosa's potential partner?
Dun, dun, dun. It is Kane, the traitor. Oh, Vanilla Baigan and a hook.
Okay, the vanilla is starting early.
We are like super close to go mode already. Literally a Luca key away. And lots of grinding and lots of other stuff, but still.
Yeah. Luca, or alternatively, Legend Adamant. Yes, we have our path underground. I dare you to take it now with this party. Double dog dare you.
One thing I will say is interesting. Slippery did not take that cane, however, McBain did. So I'm curious to see how that consequence will end up playing out through this seed.
Yeah, that seems like a coin flip from what I've been watching on how people feel about Kane. For some people, he is an auto grab. Those people tend to be not Team Cecil. I am not that person. And so you're looking maybe for a melee warrior, and with Kane, you figure, he's got decent HP growth. You find that good weapon for him, you're set. Other people are a little more cautious on Permajoin and want to make sure they have a Kane weapon before they make the grab.
That's a good point, honestly. Oh crap! So Slippery has found Dancing Dagger. I think he found another Dancing Dagger too. I think that's 2 Dancing Daggers in just the beginning of the Watery Pass, as well as a Cecil, who I'm guessing he's not going to take yet. And then McBain went into the Baron Inn and saw we have a Sid in the Baron Inn spot. So that's another great player to have early on.
Yeah, Sid's pretty useful throughout the entire game in various roles, especially if you're not on Team Cecil. Early on, he's a massive amount of hit points and strength to deal with a few rude bosses. He can keep trucking mid-game if you can find yourself an upgrade, maybe a poison axe. And at the end of the game, he's got the hit points for the Big Bang, and he makes a good anchor and can be your cast.
Yeah, there's so much, like you said, early, mid, late game utility that I often will take him pretty much automatically if I get him early on.
So I'm liking how these early characters, we have some possibilities for divergences in the party. We've seen Cecil, we've seen Kane, we've seen Sid. I mean, Rose is a gimme even if she wasn't the starting character, but I wouldn't be surprised if each of our runners already have very different ideas about how their final party is going to turn out.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't seen any black magic yet, so that's going to change things around a lot. And unsurprisingly, both of our runners have kind of been converging to the to Damsian, where they get to pull out the hovercraft, because that's, if it's a hook route seed, you're going to need it anyway. You get the character check, so it's good. You get nice chests along the way too, although these don't seem to have really pulled out too much.
Yeah, the most interesting thing is the stack of Medusa arrows that McBain found. There are some bosses that having those on hand and timing your shot correctly can be very useful.
Yeah, I tend to like to, if I see Medusa arrows somewhere, although I usually just get them in chests, I will grab just like a 10 shot of them. And
I need a very big spoon. The vanilla just keeps on coming, and I'm not sure I can handle it.
I could just give me, I'll just take the whole carton of ice cream, just give it to me.
Right?
It's delicious, but yeah, there's a vanilla Edward there in Damsian, and I don't think either player took him for some reason. But you never know.
But if we get Jet, did we see Eddie Strats? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely possible. Yeah, I don't know if either of these runners have done Eddie Strats before. I don't know if that's in their repertoire, but that would sure be a good thing to have right now.
Evil wall at bottom of sealed cave. Eddie is the hero of the seed. I'm here for it. Let's make it happen.
Eddie is always the hero in our hearts, especially because he brings music. No one else brings music. Oh, and it looks like on Hobbs we have a second Rosa and a Dark Elf fighting there. So no take by Slippery, but that's something to think about. Like, having 2 white mages is not a terrible idea.
Yeah, and especially if we find that heroine robe we were talking about earlier. You can turn one Rosa into your archer dealing death and another Rosa into your healer. Yeah,
that's pretty good. And it looks like Slippery is actually going to be continuing to make character checks. I guess he's probably looking for better options for his party. He's headed to Ordeals to make the character check here, while McBain is headed into Antlion. And Slippery found Black Mage for the first one, Oboe, which is Rydia here. So not taking her just yet, but at least you have that option.
Yeah, Rydia, and my favorite outfit for her, that's her Renoa palette. She's not as popular as Palom because it doesn't get that Quake early and really needs a lot more work to get to Nuke, but if you find a good summon for her, she can pull her own weight just fine.
Yeah, I never feel too bad about grabbing her if I have like a Bahamut already. You just get her a couple levels so she can throw one out, and like you destroy every boss for like the early and mid game. It's super nice to have. I don't know if you noticed this. McBain found an Ogre Axe in Antlion, so that Kane's got actual. He's using a Dancing Dagger now because like at level 10 he's garbage, but as soon as he gets a couple of levels, that Ogre Axe is going to do some work.
No, I do like an Ogre Axe, especially because the warrior holding it can still use a shield and still serve a role as a tank, especially if Kane's hanging out in the back row jumping. He's going to be able to dodge a lot of attacks coupling that with a shield.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely Team Ogre Axe. The other axes have their use. Poison Axe is garbage. Don't listen to anybody. But Rune Axe is okay. Well, except Hand Axe obviously is garbage. Every other axe has use. But I am not Team Ogre Axe. Go away, people. Go away.
All right. Words later, ground flower.
Sorry. But yeah, speaking of Dancing Dagger, that Dancing Dagger did work on that Octomammon Antlion bot, so just crushed it.
Oh, we have half a forge.
Ooh, snap. So now we have 2 different ways of having 1 key item to go mode.
And in Mystinia, we have another Cane and another Cecil.
Wow, so we're getting all the melees, like just literally all of them. At some point, I have to imagine Slippery's gonna grab one. I wonder which one he's thinking. Oh, in fact, he's in the temple here to grab somebody. He's taking the Rydia.
So it's taking the Rydia and looks like leaving everyone else behind.
Interesting. Maybe just going could be going to check the Hob stuff. You know, you don't know what summons there. That's always a great thing to find out. If you get like a Sylph, it's miraculous.
Yeah. Barabbas, I would probably climb Ordeals first and then go ahead and take those Cecils. I don't want to take a Dark Knight swinging a Shadow Sword up Mount Ordeals if I can help it. Please no. But the moment I get up Ordeals, I'm turning right back around and grabbing it.
Yeah. No, one thing we've already seen, right? We've seen 2 Cecils, so there is the option of a second Cecil, which is pretty solid because, if you have to deal with that dorky agility manipulation stuff, since we're on vanilla agility, you can just throw a low agility one into the middle and have them be the anchor and have the other one go hog wild.
Yeah, and if you start out that way, but as you go, you find the appropriate gear, like a Drain Sword Curse String combo. If you end up doing a big slingshot grind like D-Money, you can slingshot that person you had on the ground and then take the other Cecil and turn him into your anchor. You can get a very powerful endgame Cecil.
Oh yeah, and at some point, like if you've got 2 Cecils, you've got weapons to give them. Like you can almost just forget about agility, anything. If you're just grind to end game at that point, like you're just going to be destroying everything.
Yeah, once you have go mode, the real danger with Cecil is having to go through a Rude Wyvern or something else in a high agility spot where you have to be perfectly anchored. Once that's out of your way, you don't have to fear vanilla much.
True that. We've got Mylon and friends in the miss spot, so this is required. Going to see Slippery take this out pretty quick. It shouldn't be terribly difficult to do, but look at that jump damage by Cane. That's a jump that does double damage with a Cane with a spear, because that's how good that weapon is.
Spear. Ugh. So sad.
It's such a good weapon, its name is in it twice.
Sheep Launcher, Slippery is now so much desperate for levels, it's just going ahead and knocking out Objective 2. You'd like a J item here to sweep those ghasts in one round, but apparently Slippery doesn't have anything of that nature.
Yeah, I honestly, if I saw this and I didn't have a J item or something, I would probably just reset and try again later. I'm with you. Just having something you could just one-shot literally all those little zombies, because this is going to take Slippery like an extra minute. It's that, it's such a quick fight normally because it's so low hit points here, but he's just not going to have that capability at this low level with no weapons.
And Barabbas, the Brown, I've never found a hand axe looting either. I'm pretty sure it's junk tier. On most seeds, the really low value loot is just automatically converted to gold, and I suspect hand axe is in that category. Yeah,
you want to talk about quality of life improvement? Being able to have junk just turn into money, so you don't. What it does is it unclogs your inventory to such a great degree. Instead of like having to fight the inventory boss like 4 times a run, you might only have to get away with it once. So that's super convenient. Not getting like, I forget all those little junk items, mallets and stuff like that.
Yeah, so much Shadow Swords. Slippery. Right. Well rewarded for looting Mist Cave after taking out the objective. In order, finding a Samurai Bow, an Ether 2, and a Starless Type.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, McBain just got the other half of Forge, so I think of course we're not literally in go mode because we do not have an access to Z, but holy shnikes!
We are in crystal mode. Hey, how do you feel about those double Cecils, McBain? Feel good now?
Yeah, time for Cecil. Oh gosh, yeah, McBain with 2 canes.
Actually, no. What would bite me on this seed is Magma at Ordeals. because I would absolutely go up Ordeals, I would get my Magma or at Baron in and go, you know what, I'll check on Fabul later. Wouldn't bite me too long. I'd get back there soon, but I'd get back up there and go, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, fading Fabul here isn't hugely, I mean, now that we know what it is, like, it's not a huge problem. I mean, the big thing that would stink is, like, that's just knowledge you don't have. It might affect the characters you take.
Yeah. That's probably the big one. I mean, I will definitely touch Fabul before diving the hook route because,
yeah, exactly. Like, you got to think with McBain with 2 Canes, like, is he really going to grab a Cecil? Maybe. I mean, he might just go full melee strats and have like have one sort of caster. Maybe you find a Tella somewhere or whatever, but like that's a lot of melee.
Yeah, maybe if he thinks he can get through, and he should be able to get through. Actually, he knows what his go mode is. He doesn't even have to touch Sealed Cave. He shouldn't need to worry about agility anchoring. You want a fast anchor for these spots. You could grab 2 Cecils once you get up Ordeals, legit, and just go through and not really worry about any super rude bosses. The only possibility, I take it all back now, is I think about the hook route.
Right. That's where things get spicy, because there are definitely agility issues that you can have there. There are certain bosses, and especially Wyvern, that's probably the biggest one. Also, Evil Wall, that agility becomes a serious problem, and if you've got some unwieldy agility anchor, like a Cecil that you have because of vanilla agility, then it could make those fights like nearly impossible.
Yeah. Fortunately, if there's a Wyvern on the hook route, that immediately tells the runners they've missed Demist somewhere, which in this case somewhere would mean Magus Sisters, because they're about to clear out the entire overworld. I don't see them fading Baron in to do the hook route.
No, that's an objective. You're definitely not going to fade that, I would think.
But there are certainly other bosses along the hook route where you're going to want your agility to be perfect to handle them. Kainauzu at Rubicon.
Exactly. But yeah, any Evil Wall, it's like, okay, you have to deal with 3 hits before you can get it in a command in. It's not going to feel great.
Evil Wall at King Queen Evelyn, another good point.
Hey, it's Orb.
Yep, Orb at Ordeals.
Orb deals.
Orb deals.
It looks like McBain's kind of out to a pretty fast start here. Slippery just did Antlion. He did a lot more checks, I think, is the big difference. But McBain definitely looks like he's in the lead. He's going up Ordeals now. He's got both parts of Forge, so he has a lot more information than Slippery has. But Slippery is going to be doing. Looks like he's going basically the same route, so he's going to be catching up. But I'm curious, how this is going to converge or not. Like, are they both just going to full clear the overworld? But there are definitely some options ahead of them.
Yeah, and Pasa Morpheus, a very good point. The twin Dancing Daggers doing excellent work against this CPU trying to hide in the background.
Yeah, in terms of early game weapons, like early game, nothing really beats Dancing Dagger, because it just does. How does it actually do damage? I know that it's magic based, but it kind of seems to do like a static level of damage, which makes it great early game because it's always like 300-ish damage.
Yeah, items in general, when you're getting a spell from an item, the power is already set to the item. It doesn't matter one bit the stats of the character using it, who's holding it. It just is going to do what it's going to do. And Dancing Dagger does non-elemental magic damage to whatever you shoot at.
Which is great most of the time. Obviously, not so hot when you're facing a Valvalis somewhere spicy, but elsewise it rocks.
Like the first time I tried to use a Dancing Dagger against Valvalis in Tornado, the last dagger just hovered on her sprite a little bit from the animation, and I felt like it was taunting.
It was just like, I can't do anything, I'm just stuck here. Ooh, and we have, I don't know what version of French vanilla? Is this like a Neapolitan? We've got elements at the Mylon Z spot.
It is what it is. But without Reflect, we're actually probably going to see probably all phases of this. Unless, there's a Boreas hanging out that'll polish off this Rubicon.
Honestly, though, with those 2 Canes doing that Dancing Dagger work, hopefully these phases will come pretty quickly.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long to get through the fight, but I don't think we're going to see any skips.
I can't imagine it yet, because it's going to be going a couple hundred hit points at a time, so you just really have to wait. And you can see that Elements has pretty high magic spot here. That did like basically half of everyone's damage, everyone's HP.
Yeah, Rubicanta is generally the most dangerous of the 4 phases. That Fire 2 was bad enough. Next up is a Fire 3 all around, and then finally, if you're still standing, you get a glare on the entire party.
Super oof. Yeah, I'm not a fan. That's why a lot of people use the reflect strats, because it keeps you from having to go to the other phases. And Mylon is definitely the easiest and most easily dealable phase. You don't have to. All you have to do is maybe throw up a blink in a nasty spot, but everything else is cake.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Valvalis in Tornado form doesn't have the incredible evasion that she does when she's encountered alone, because when you face the elements in the vanilla game, you don't have Kane on hand to take her out of that spin, so that would just be far too hard.
Yeah, so I guess they manipulate things. Well, of course, all of the weird stats on that fight anyway are kind of orked, but they probably did intentionally make it so that Val wouldn't be as gross, because if you can't jump to stop the spin and like you can't hit her, then it's going to just be a never-ending nightmare.
Yeah. But McBain is through the elements, and we'll be seeing the key item as Slippery is going after the objective, Sid and Leviathan, and whatever boss is next.
You get a Stardust Rod. I mean, that's a nice item. Not really what you're looking for here. Obviously, full clearing ordeals, but not bad. Although McBain can't use it, so maybe not as good as it could be.
We don't mind Asura in this spot. She can be a bit cranky elsewhere, and this should be doable. There's only 1,000 hit points here.
Yeah, I saw him switch to Ogre Axe with his jumping cane, so hopefully that will be enough damage, and it's still not, actually, unfortunately.
Not quite, but he got the spin around to life, so that'll help. And wisely, now that he's got her on Gray Face, is going to wrap this up. Or at least making sure with the aim, since it was such a weak attack, that life stayed up. There we go.
And down. And Slippery got Odin at the Hob spot too. Although I think we saw an Odin chest somewhere, so that's not as great as it could be.
Well, as long as that Odin in the chest never got used, it can be sold.
Money is good, in fact. And in free enterprise, money is very important. Crystal armor, a siren. Ooh,
well,
that back half of
money.
Yeah,
or
that's money, and then
if you prefer.
Right, if you want to do a cover Cecil and you have a crystal armor, that's the way to go. That back road, and crystal armor. Like, you're not going to take very many hits if you have to do Mac Giant, which is completely on the table since we haven't seen any Tele anywhere. Having that ability to like survive a ton of hits is huge to do Mac Giants.
Ground Flyer, I was a little bit too caught up in the elements fight. Did you see what happened to Slippery in Baron M?
He beat it. Gosh. Okay, hold on a second.
Did he bounce off the second boss?
Now I'm thinking he bounced.
No, okay.
Yeah, he wiped.
Who too?
So the first boss was easy. He broke. I don't remember who that was. It was pretty quick though. But yeah, I don't even remember the second boss. Somehow I completely blanked on that.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was caught up in the elements fight. I know why.
Yeah, same.
Oh, thank you, Amy. He didn't get to the second boss. He didn't get past Leviathan. Gotcha.
Oh, interesting.
Got
Maybe
some
those ice
rude magic power. You wouldn't necessarily expect it out of that spot, but you take the quarter damage from the big waves, and the ice tubes start slamming in.
But yeah, honestly, like, you're gonna look at McBain do it. It's gonna be like 3 seconds, because those dancing daggers are still doing work. Like, those dancing daggers are the story of this early game right now for McBain. He just blows through Leviathan like it's nothing.
And yeah, Chaz pointing out that you've got Baron Guards here. They are casters throwing status effect spells, and the game does like to buff the magic of any boss that meets that criteria just to make sure that.
And now we've got, one of the easiest fights here, honestly, that's not like already free. Mylon Z, because one thing I've noticed is this spot is extremely slow. So even though he can do some hits, he's going to do very few hits, and you're just going to demolish him. Like, the hit points are like maybe 3,000-ish here, but you can see like those dancing daggers doing 300 plus Cure 2's being cast on him. He's not going to be long for this world.
Yeah, and safely tucked in the back row, even with just an iron shield. This spot can hit pretty hard, but Kane's going to probably roll up at least one dodge. You have half as many attacks safely in the back row, and, you know, he should be fine.
Or you survive with 8 hit points. Get a little lucky.
Well, he had to be hit twice to be taken down there, but yes.
Fair. Yeah, it looks like Slippery just finished off CPU. Was going to be heading to that element spot on Ordeals here.
It's also Rosa, getting in on offense, slamming the Cure 2 directly at me.
And Mylon is down. We almost had a Mylon on each side, but it just missed.
Very close.
And we have an Avenger. Holy crap. That's spicy. A good thing to get before going underground, too, because that might do some serious damage. You throw that on one of the Canes and forget about it. Especially if your Cane is back row. Oh, actually, that's right. We don't have a Dwarf Axe yet, so it would have to be a Cane in the front row, but that's still going to rock. And obviously, Avenger plus X-Cal, forget about it. Like, that's GG's for most of this seed.
Yeah, you can double Cecil now, and you don't need any more weapons for the end. You start one with an X-Cal. You have him grab the Avenger, and thanks to the Avenger glitch, you'll have that Berserk Cecil swinging with the full power of an Excalibur. And then it's just sitting there in the inventory waiting for second Cecil to pick it up.
Not only that, but remember we saw that, well, at least on, I guess, the Slippery side, we saw that crystal armor. If Slippery goes through the same process, gets an X-Cal Cecil and an Avenger, you can bypass the inability of a crystal armor to be able to be berserked. You can be berserked with an Avenger. So you can still get all that super awesome armor damage protection, as well as just being able to destroy faces.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So McBain's going to go to Troya. I strongly suspect this is just shopping before a hook dive, but I would be highly amused if he decided to check for a demist at Magisters.
And I think we just found what he was looking for, because I was just about to say, I don't know if we've seen life potions yet, and so that is the answer to that question. We just saw it in Troya shop, so that's super nice to have. As well as exits, because we don't have any way to get out of anywhere just yet.
Dia thinks it's group flags, which is fair, but this, to be fair, the Stardust and the Avenger did come out of key item checks.
Just be glad it wasn't a crystal sword, Dia.
Right, and the X-Cal is just because Legend and Adamant showed up. We don't actually have an X-Cal yet. We're just looking to the future.
Yeah, like that trip underground isn't going to be super cake with an X-Cal Cecil. You still got an Avenger Cane, which is pretty good, but you're not going to have that X-Cal yet.
But that Ogre Axe is going to come in handy. We've got a Staleman that McBain might go for, Mad Ogres that he will almost certainly and that Ogre Axe will make short work of those fights.
Yeah, when it comes to hook seeds, like, I don't know if there's a better quick grind that you have as an option than those Mad Ogres, because not only are there 4 of them, but they are manipulatable in certain ways that you can take them down a lot easier if you have somebody that can cast Size or, you know, can cast Stone on them or whatever. And then on top of that, if you have some sort of Ogre beat up weapon, which is always nice, you can life glitch them, which means you end up getting the XP of 7 Mad Ogres. And that adds up a lot. Usually if you have like a Palom, you get them up to Quake or whatever. You get a lot stronger and you're able to deal with something gross at the end of the top of tower route. Or top of whatever. But above ground Babel.
Yeah, boss of Upper Babel. Not that... I have no idea how that objective is worded. I haven't looked at a non-quest objective in a while.
Is that an objective? I don't even know if that is.
It might not be.
Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously,
that would be simultaneous with Launch the Falcon.
Right. Yeah, that's what you have. You have Launch the Falcon, so there's really not a reason to have the other bit. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like McBain is doing some looting down here. Don't know if he's looting literally everything, trying to find the chest, but he is.
So many
Oh.
slumber sword. Tell is good.
Okay. We now have a D machine grind seed, and obviously all the utility that comes with that Tella.
And a sparkle at the Rubicante. Could this be Ogo?
So the only sparkle I think we've seen so far, it was one of the two checked Waterfall, and Waterfall had D Lunars. So that takes one of the on the easier side sort of bosses, but yeah, that leaves the other counting numbers 4. So
3. We know it's not Wyvern. Unless.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, unless there's that one possible chance, it would have to be the Maga Sister spot would have to have a mist, and that would have to have a magma or something else.
Right. Or the other really weird possibility. Wyvern is allowed to be that sparkle if D-Mist is at King Queen Eblin holding the way to magma.
Ooh, that's kind of hot too. Okay, that would be so interesting.
That is in logic.
You're right. I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, if it's at King Queen, that would be spicy as crap. Oh my gosh, you basically have to do both routes, sort of, to be able to get underground. But yeah, pretty early on, obviously, in the seed, we had those 2 objectives that didn't require key items. So, you know, quick objectives being lit up. Slippery is about to get 3rd objective as well. Obviously, a really good idea to make sure you have both of those objectives done before you head underground. And with hook routes, you always want to check everything, because the difference between a magma run and a hook run is so much. You know, it's worth going through every boss fight and make sure you find it, except with some exceptions. I don't know about you. I tend to skip Zot if I have everything else, because that's going to always be so time consuming, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I will limit my D-Mist hunt to Mist Cave Water if I'm on a hook route. I won't go for anything spicier, but I will take all of the Sphere Zeros, and if they open up anything else, Baron, Earth Crystal, Twin Harp, I personally will take all of those before I touch them. Some people are going to fade Twin.
Yeah, I think Twin Harp's good, quick enough. It's not that, I mean, it's long, but it's not that long. Like, I don't think it's any longer than, say, doing the first part of Baron. But I know some people just fade the memes. They're just anti-meme. I can't help them. And yeah, you can see it's McBain having a little bit of trouble with these Mad Ogres, but that Avenger is doing work. I think it's one shot, 2,300 damage. That will finish him off.
Yeah, and I think this is Ogre X into Avenger, which means that we're still getting the racial weakness of the Ogre X going after the Mad Ogres.
Yeah. So now the one real question, and I'm sure that McBain's trying to figure this out, is how do you... Okay, maybe he's only going for these 2 characters getting the XP. I was thinking maybe he would try and get other people up. Oh, but that Kane just took a hard hit, and Rosa is down. Wow, those were 2 ridiculous hits. Like, did way more damage than they were doing the whole rest of that fight, and he just got totally burned. He got knocked all the way out of, oh my gosh, all the way back to outside of Eblin. No save. Oof, that's painful to see. But yeah, that was at the end of the day, that's like a 5-minute time loss.
Yeah, he got a little greedy going after all, full life glitches for the XP instead of getting some party members up, and he almost got away with it too.
If it weren't for the meddling kids.
And their puppy.
Their puppy's pretty awesome. Honestly, now I want Mad Ogres to have a puppy. Like, maybe they need a friend. That's why they're so mad. They're like alone and just hanging out in this like big old weird tower thing, and like they don't have any friends outside of each other. They just want a dog. They want to go for a walk. Come on.
Therapy support puppy, perhaps.
Not only that, like think about all the monsters that are in Trap Chest. They're in the chest. Like, how terrible is it to be like stuck inside of a chest? I would be pretty upset and want to beat the crap out of anybody if I came out of a box that I was like locked in forever.
Yeah, that will be... It's understandable. The real reason why did the monsters keep increasing? They were trapped in chests all along. Groundfire broke the code.
Exactly. They gotta hide somewhere, so you just start opening every box, and all of a sudden you've got like all these new monsters.
Dathis, there are ice hounds. I believe it's Ice Beast. It's one of the. I want to say it's a random encounter in. Oh gosh, is it Tower of? No, it's not Zot. It's probably down in Lower Babel. But they're around.
In theory.
It might be Tower. It is Tower of Zot actually. And Lower Babel is just full of flame enemies.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ice palette swap of flame. I'm not sure what it is. Chat, if you figure it out, let us know.
They're both good dogs is the important thing. Just be careful when you pet them. Yeah, Skull's right. You can pet chocobos. In fact, if you pet the white ones, you get all of your magic points back. So always pet the chocobos. The chocobos are your friends.
Mm-hmm. There have been a lot of seeds in the overworld where I'd take that quick duck into the ordeal source to replenish my MP.
Like, imagine if you pet a chocobo, and then afterwards you were able to make an earthquake because you had enough magic ability. I'd be pretty happy petting that chocobo.
That's the thing. Be sure.
It looks like, honestly, I mean, McBain lost all that time, obviously, and that really gave Slippery a chance to come back here. McBain still has a little bit of a lead in terms of making it underground, but that lead is obviously diminished quite a bit. They're only maybe a couple of minutes separating the two of them now. It seems like McBain is going for the same strategy, which unfortunately also seems to be backfiring a bit because they're still getting thumped pretty well. But Tella is doing a lot of the good blink strats to keep people up, which is a good idea.
Yeah, you want that happening.
But yeah, just a reminder, everybody, while we're hanging out here and doing some beaten up stuff, do make sure to stick around for the end of this match because we will be seeing again who gets number 4 in the playoffs, and the number 4 player gets to then also be in the draft to choose where all the opponents get laid out in the brackets. So it's going to be exciting to see if Baka Shinobi or Invenerable gets that spot, and we will be seeing what they get to do in the draft coming very soon.
Yeah, when we're done here, we're going to cut over to Scala Kitty. We'll be doing that coin flip on air.
Okay, I don't know if you saw that. McBain just pulled out of that Mad Ogre chest a ribbon, which is really good magic defense. Basically, one of maybe the best magic defense item in the game that's not like an adamant armor, obviously. It also, keeps you from, you survive crushes from the end phase of Evil Walls. I think you can survive. Can you survive Disrupt from Golbez as well? Okay.
Yes.
So
you're immune to pretty much any status effect in existence. You disrupts, you're laughing at breath, you're just so many things are passing you by. Golbez will paralyze you. It doesn't protect from paralysis, but
it also doesn't protect from count. Like, I think Plague still counts you.
Yeah, Plague will still count you. That's not on the list.
But yeah, heckin' good item, especially when you're going to be facing off against who knows what kind of evil Moon Sparkle and some unknown nastiness that's going to be awaiting beforehand in the King Queen spot.
Slippery trying for a size, which is a good way to get the Mad Ogres to be no longer a threat. Problem is, the problem is it missed. That could just be Tele-Life, even in the center position. Also, I sometimes forget. I think you can size the ogres, but not totally. There's something.
All right, I need some more ice cream friends. Does anybody have any? Because we got another vanilla boss in King Queen Eblin at their own spot. And this boss is kind of jokingly easy, so you hang out and watch them kill themselves, basically. Sorry, I should rephrase that.
Yeah. And if you're a runner on a hook route, King and Queen Eblin is probably the tastiest vanilla of all.
Yeah. If you're running this, you don't hate to see it. If you're everyone else, you kind of want more spicy, but that's okay.
Slippery commits to the size and gets it to land on the second pass, and now, as Chad has been pointing out, can pretty casually mount it.
Yeah, so yeah, with Slippery having that, that's going to make on the Mad Ogre side with the minis, like going to be able to get life glitches off, have everybody alive. It's going to get max XP on this for the whole party, so that's going to be really useful.
I like this ice cream party. I'm here for it.
All right, let's real talk. What's everyone's favorite ice cream flavor? I've got to go with. Indeed. I gotta go with like peanut butter and chocolate. Like just yeah, cookie dough is good, but peanut butter and chocolate's my jam.
Oh yes, chocolate ice cream with little Reese's bits with the peanut butter in them. Yes, absolutely. Or maybe there's a Schwan. There's a company that does that, and they also have some peanut butter ribbon running through it as well. That's my favorite, right there.
Dang. I need to sit down, and I'm already sitting down. Let's see who Sparkly Friend is, because McBain is now through. Ooh, I like the little Tella like accidental palette change here with the purple robe. Womp womp.
Nailed him. This is gonna be basically a more brutal version of Mad Ogres. He's going to, except you can't size him. He's going to swing very hard. You're going to need to get your blinks up and just chug your way through the fight.
Yeah, and this is a spot where you want decent agility setup. So yeah, having that Tella available really makes this a lot less nasty because he's going to be punching fast. Yeah, it's not going to be difficult. It's just going to be time consuming because every time you do any regular attack, it's going to do the counter slow. But I guess we'll be doing jumps, but jumps are still a pretty slow move.
Now, we're going to Berserk, and the good news about that is that eventually it won't matter. It will slow things down, but it's not as if you have to worry about it beyond 2 slows on everyone. At that point, the slows are just there for animation and to annoyingly take up.
Exactly. It's not going to really affect anything. You know, as long as you've got 2 blink. Well, actually, does Rosa have blink yet? I don't think so. But you have the blinks going out.
Yeah, probably not, since McBain had Rosa use an illusion.
Oh yeah, use your illusion. Womp womp. I don't know if anybody got that. But yeah, Slippery on the prior boss, so very, very close. These two are basically like, they are literally 1 block on the screen away from each other, so, you know, it doesn't get much closer than that.
I think there's a couple of things McBain might go for to alter if the fight happens again. One, he's probably coming in with an Avenger pretty because he knows he doesn't have to face any trouble, and slumber into Avenger is not good times. And 2, he might do a mini grind just to get Rosa up.
Yeah, you can see those blinks are just coming off so fast, and the canes, you just can't keep them up. Because they have to be in front to do the real damage, unless you're jumping. But if you're doing the Zerk damage, which McBain is, you have to have them in the front, really. And you can just see they're getting hit for over their total HP each time. Yeah, he's probably resetting here.
Yeah, the spot doesn't play around.
So even though this is one of the easier bosses in the Lunar crew, it's definitely not easy here, because very few things are easy here.
Yeah, and Possum has a good point. Going down to Battle Speed 3 for a rough boss is always a legitimate answer. You don't have to live at maximum speed. This often will solve all of it.
I saw that McBain put the Ogre Axe back. Oh, I see. He's actually doing a little bit of grinding here, some monsters. And gets 3 Mad Ogres, so that's obviously good XP.
He grinds to get Blink. The only bad news is it's a back.
Yeah, they're still going to be hitting pretty hard. These are still pretty punchy friends.
Chugging right away with that Avenger.
Until that person dies.
Gosh. Yeah, they found their... Oh, and
then Rosa. This is not going great. Oof.
Yeah, grinding is not free here. If you're struggling with the hook route, there's a chance you're going to struggle with these encounters too. And Typically on a hook dive, you're significantly lower level than the encounter area, and that does affect your likelihood of being back attacked or surprised. So you get these back attack situations where you just burn a couple of actions and take a few hard hits, and you're already on the back foot before you even get going.
And we get an egg. Unfortunately, those are actually pretty crummy XP, and they hatch and become gross things, I think. Or are they just like lamia? Okay, they're the lamias. That's right.
You get the lamia, and then you just hope this is the better option, and then you're able to cut it down and have some XP. You get the yellow dragon, or wait, no, it's a green dragon.
Green dragon, and those are scary.
Yellow dragon would be great. The XP would be wonderful. Green dragon, ugh.
Ooh, some black cats in that ogre. So
Yeah,
black
the
cats usually
Avengers-
stink, but that Avenger will cut them in one shot, and so you don't have to deal with that bluster garbage.
Yeah, if the Avenger one-shots the Black Cats, this is fine. If it comes up light, then no. McBain going for a stone. I like it. These are random encounters. You're not looking at the boss bit. It was worth a shot, but stone has some pretty atrocious accuracy.
Yeah, and even a Tella in the middle there, where your middle slot gives you a little bit of an accuracy boost. That's still not great, and Tella is just not great on the on that kind of stuff anyway.
Yep, you called it. The Avenger takes down the Black Cat in one shot.
I think black cats are like 600, 700 HP, something around there. So yeah, if you can get to that threshold and hit them, then you're good. Anything less, you're going to pay for it.
And, ooh, Ogre Hacks from above, bringing pain to the Mad Ogres.
Yeah, what was it, 3,000 and something? Yeah, that was a little bit of pain. Oh, Dath is saying, okay, the cats are 860. Thank you. Yeah, so that's pretty lowish.
Closer, but he was able to handle it. Through that.
That's a coffin out of it too. That's kind of nice.
We will take a coffin as a drop on table flags. You're not going to be able to find those in shops unless you make it to Cole. Oh wait, we can make it to Cole. But that's the only place you might find it in shops. So we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that we're basically in objective mode, we're in crystal mode, as you called it. We are not in go mode, so it's not like neither of these runners have any bosses left to do, and they're just head to a grind. They still have to find either a pass or a darkness crystal, and pass is probably going to not be great. Darkness crystal will give them the opportunity to grind, though.
Yeah, so there's still some spots to be checked to find that go mode, and if there's someone that either guard set comes to mind. The typo guards in particular are often great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or if you have the Baron guards, or if you have the black imps, and you're just like they're hitting too much, and you just need to knock one of them out. There's all sorts of usefulness for that.
Yeah, dark imps, get one of them out of the way fast, especially if it's a Fame Arch dark imps or something.
And look at that, slippery through the hook route. That was a very efficient hit, very efficient run. It took time, but he got the blinks down. He got very efficient attacking because obviously that Avenger is just doing damage and made it through. So very good job on him. He took the advantage here on hook route. That was really impressive.
Yep. A rough hook seed is often the decision point.
Oof, but he still fell down the pole. Man, you think he'd be better than that? That's pretty bad.
Well, tower. Well.
Hey, but you know what we got? We got canes.
It's true. We got canes. Those jumps are just going to make them come out of the spin and take another swing. And the magic there is so weak that you're going to see Weeks and Rays actually miss from time to time. But the physicals are still a little cranky.
Honestly, though, I think at this point, we have the solution. We have the duct tape. It's the Avenger sword. You just walk in, you use an Avenger, and you make things die. So that would probably work on that fight. You just, blink everybody up, make sure that, keep healing, take the stone away, and just kind of survive through, survive that way.
Yeah, probably not even worth jumping to take her out of the spin.
Slippery is headed into the Fey March, fading that objective. Now, obviously, he doesn't really need it the second because he had Cecil, but he's headed underground. He's doing the freebies, so that's always a great way to go. You always want to make sure that the two main rules in at least Highway to the Threemus Zone are check your freebies and check your objectives.
Yeah, and when, as you say, the objective isn't possibly leading to another objective, it's not as critical. On the right plus side, if Slippery is going to do some more looting as he is here, then when he does finally get to Kokol, he'll have more things to sell if he wants to buy anything.
Yeah, so one of the great things about that Kokol shop, even if you can't use the X-Cal for anything, which obviously neither member can at the moment, based on their party composition, you can still check out the shop, and that Kokol shop is the best shop in the game. It can offer you, I don't think you can get tier 7, but I think you can get basically everything else. You can get like ribbons and crystal rings. You can even find sirens there, and they don't sell literally anywhere else. So they can really break open a game in ways that you don't even know until you check it out.
Yeah, sirens there, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the one thing that I would maybe want to go there for fast. Give me those sirens, just let me grind up now so that I can deal with the underground spots and not have to worry about struggling through the fights the way that hook route made me do. But other than that, it can be fun.
Yeah, I mean, anything else is just going to change like how fast you go to a boss, but sirens is going to change literally your entire end game. So, having that information is good. But I think the odds of getting sirens there are extremely low.
They are low. It has been known to happen. This is not that rude of Fey March. We've got Bahamut here, who has enough hit points to survive 3 of his own Mega Nukes, so you'll need 3 Reflex plus help. And Dr. Luga in the Assurance.
Yeah, they're both doable. They're both going to take time, is the thing. Like, the party here is pretty weak. Thankfully, Bahamut does damage to it himself, so you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. And he also has Kane doing some real work. But all you really need here are the reflects up and just he'll Mega Nuke himself to death. And he might, with Kane doing damage, he might only get through 2. I think he'll get through to the second one. But
it'll be close. Counting. Looks like Kane got 3 swings before the count came from 5 to 4. So if that pace continues, then the reflected Mega Nuke would come close to putting it down, honestly.
Yeah, you're right. I take it back. I don't think he's going to see a second one then if he's doing that kind of damage between the counts. And this is a fast spot too, so that's surprising.
Well, that's the power of Berserk. And plus that Kane is at RA1 compared to Tella, which means that he's effectively, even though his agility is much lower than this spot, they're both moving at the same speed. And he's able to get his attacks in without any inputs. And I'm also not familiar with Bahamut's script. I don't know if there are any dead ticks between the counts, but if there are, an attack from Kane is going to jump into the queue in front of every last attack.
My guess is there is, because especially when you consider where his spot, like the Bahamut spot on the moon, is extremely fast as well. So I would have to think there are dead ticks between. It's not, because otherwise it would be like 5, 4, 3. Just be immediate. Mm-hmm. And there's the Mega Nuke.
Sure. And nope, not quite. But yeah, I don't think we see another one. I think that Slippery is going to be through.
Yeah, hang out, have a drink. Chat, text on the phone for a minute. You got time.
Right.
And McBain is in to get that objective and to get his crystal. I don't know if he has checked the Kokol Forge yet, but I do hope he goes and checks.
If he doesn't plan on picking up Cecil, he goes here first, just to have money to work. And sure enough, Slippery does not see a second Mega Nuke. Nicely done.
Okay,
Ooh,
those
that's a good
bad.
shot.
Yeah, we got crystals. Crud, what was the other thing I saw that was really good?
I saw a Life Staff and Strength Ring.
Yeah, Life Staff is great. That's the highest stat healing staff, so that's super nice. Yes. And Strength Rings, also do some work. You throw that on your Avenger Kane, and you give him even more strength bonus and even more damage.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to want to bring your money to Kokol Shop. We'll take all of it.
It's moments like that where you're like, I've been overlooting the whole seed. This feels bad. You're like, oh, no, actually it feels real nice.
Yeah. Uh, 3 really good items. The crystal ring of the 3 I like the best. It protects the wearer from paralyze. It has amazing physical and magical defense, and it adds 5 to the wearer's.
Yeah, it's spicy. It's so good for Z. It's the best ring spot item for Z. Like you can absolutely survive big bangs at like way lower HP than you would expect with that thing on. You know, you get a Rosa even or like a Porum at like 1900 HP with a crystal ring, and you pretty much never even have to worry about full-fledged big bangs at that point.
Yeah. Oh, and Direwolf pointing out that in addition to all of its other wonderful qualities, crystal rings give you dragon resistance.
Huh, I had no idea. That's spicy.
Neither did I.
Now I'm trying to think, okay, what are dragons? Where would that be helpful?
Red dragons in the alt gauntlet, behemoths if you're doing a behemoth grind.
Wait a minute, behemoths are dragon?
I think so. Chat, call me out if I'm wrong, but I think behemoths are dragons.
Today I learned. Yeah, Slippery hanging out underground, doing a little bit more shopping. He is in Tomra currently, so maybe he'll do the Job Dwarf check. Come on,
I am corrected. They are not dragons. I dreamed. And, Jill Wayne, if I'm close to where I need to be for a Z fight, and I don't have sirens, rather than set up D Machine, I will happily take out the 3 behemoths in Cave Bahamut for, if I'm at 10 key items, that's like somewhere between 150 and 120k each. I'll take that all day.
Did anybody see the Job Dwarf description? Because it was like a paragraph long of a name. It was like 4 big words. I could not read it. It was too big. But yay, validation. But yeah, it looks like they're treading similar ground here. McBain is now going and taking out that Bahamut, and we have Slippery going in and finishing the objective, so he'll get to see the Crystal Ring and Life Staff stuff. That's going to be awesome. So they're honestly looking pretty even at this point. Like, you know, it's just not too surprising. They did pretty much get out of hook route not too far from each other. So it's good to see we've got a really good match going on right now.
Yep. Although it looks like McBain lost his Avenger Cane, which means he's losing some time on this second route, but he's still got Starveils and other things happening. So he might see this second Mega Nuke that Slippery missed. We shall see.
Ooh, the speed of that Avenger, just crushing. But yeah, here comes the second one, but that's... Or is this the first one?
This is the second one.
Okay, so yeah, it's going to finish him off probably. Yep. Unfortunately, that Cane doesn't get that XP, which stinks, but...
Didn't have time to, well, didn't have anyone to get a wall. So McBain has the Baron Key, as Slippery gets the Crystal, and they're both probably heading to the same spot, Baron Castle.
Actually, neither of them have checked Sheila 1 yet, I believe, so they might head over to that quickly and then go there. Like, it looks like, they check your freebies, but like they've done really efficient routing. They've kind of gone through the freebie areas. They've done a little bit of the underground to get the objective done and all that stuff, and can just head up, do Baron, do the freebie, you know, all at once. McBain is actually using a tent, so I'm thinking that he's going after Dr. Luggage here. Very curious to see how this works out.
Yeah, looks that way, and makes sense. You think you can take the spot, you don't want to have to walk all the way back down here, and if Pastor Darkness is here, then you're done.
Oh, hi. So that's hilarious. Sheila, come on now.
Trolling us. I mean, we're one closer to 10 key item, which will be nice if we ever get around to demachining with the darkness, but
yeah, at least it's like on the route. Like, you know, this is not going completely out of the way, because obviously I would assume Slippery is going to go take out that Baron spot. Yep. Looks like he's doing that. So this isn't that bad. And actually checking the package character too. Spicy.
Sure. We saw Hanzo Seal in the shop. Maybe there's an edge here.
And another trader.
Would you like a third cane?
I mean, who doesn't want more cane?
Sheep launcher? We give Sheila back the pan every chance we get. That's apparently all she needs.
Yeah, I mean, that's all she really cares about. Like, telling her that Yang's still hanging out underground, like, who cares? Whatever. But like, she's got that pan. That pan is worth it. Just give her back the pan.
She knocked out an invading Baron soldier during the attack on Fabul with that pan.
Yeah, exactly. She's got crushed faces. Absolutely. Absolutely underrepresented in this game, in my opinion. Sheila's the real hero, is what I'm saying.
Sheila playable character win?
Yes. Yeah, bring it. Oh, it looks like so McBain is not doing enough damage to skip this Balnab Z phase where you kill off Balnab, and then Dr. Luggage is like, I'm just going to operate him remotely, and kind of jumps on the back of the robot, which you don't always need to see if you kill them quickly enough. But not that it matters, because he's now gone to the second phase.
Right. But he got through without getting what's this button. After a few attacks, Dr. Lugai, despite designing Balnab, apparently doesn't know how he works completely and presses a button, and you get a lovely explode attack for whatever HP he has.
Here's an unfortunate bit, though. He just got both of his canes gassed, so they're sleeping. They're taking a nap right now, so much for getting that Avenger damage out. You're not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah, gonna be stuck here waiting until you sit through the beam and the laser and get a full heal from Dr. Lugai, and then you can get back to work. Or you could be proactive and do the healing yourself. That's fair.
Gotta love that proper laser damage that comes out. Not the other one that does like 1/10 of your health, but the one that does the real damage. It just hit for 1337 on that Tella taking a nap. He got all lasered out.
Yeah, laser deals its damage based on the hit points of Dr. Lugai in this form, and this spot's got a decent amount of HP, and McBain didn't have much opportunity to cut into that.
But honestly, that's fine. It looks like he's basically in control of this fight. There's not a lot of weird stuff that can happen here. Like, the laser's the only thing that will just wreck your characters. Everything else is too weak, and he's through it. So he doesn't have to deal with this. Fey March is done for McBain, and we'll see if it's completely haunted or if this is, got some goods.
Well, it could be value, but it's value for chat.
I sure don't hate it. And honestly, like, given where he's at, I don't know if he's done Sheila yet, but I assume he is. He has, or I'm sorry, so he needs to get.
He hasn't.
Okay, he has not done right. So wait a minute, where was the Baron key? Now my brain's breaking. Does he not have Baron key? I thought that was. Oh, Bahamut. Yeah, okay, so he does have Baron key. My fault.
Yeah,
right, he did finish.
Does have a Baron key.
Okay, it's my fault.
Yeah, Sheila has the Magnet.
Right, that's right. So yeah, I imagine he's going to do the Sheila, head up, do Baron just like Slippery, do Sheila just like Slippery, and then if those don't have Darkness Crystal, he will go up and do music, because that's, I don't know. It's pretty good routing. You get that done, then you can go back underground.
Yeah, I suspect Baron first for the character check as well as the key. But if that doesn't turn into anything useful, maybe we see music.
And the character Baron is Yang. Not really what you're looking for. If you're looking for a fifth at this moment, you're probably thinking Palom.
No, yeah. Yeah, if I'm taking Yang for the fifth, it'll be because I got Darkness Crystal and I'm about to slingshot Yang to about 5,000 points.
Exactly. I love, slingshotting Yang is so great because he doesn't need literally any gear at all. He just gets so many HP and then just can throttle people for like really high damage even without any gear. Like his high-end turnaround is so big.
Yeah, and he'll be perfectly happy to just go in against Zeromus with bare fists and just about carry that on his own if he's got a stack of Cure 3s, to be honest.
Shield's got to be pretty excited here because Slippery's going to go beat the crap out of his wife or his husband and give it back. Gotta give him a reminder who's boss and all. So
yeah, well, hand makes a key item 8. That's 2 free checks immediately, so that could get to 10 right there. And if one of them is Darkness, then that's everything we need.
Yeah, Curse Ring is spicy. Always, this is the thing. I always make sure to check that shop if I haven't found a Curse Ring yet, because it definitely can have it. And Curse rings are so useful. Like I just always feel bad without one. I'm never comfortable trying to do any kind of agility, anything, because like you just want to be able to hold that down and not have to deal with it again.
Yeah. Solves your issue. You can level however you can level your Tela as far as you want. Get him maybe to enough hit points to survive a nerfed Big Bang.
Yeah, and that curse ring will still keep him low enough that your relative agility 1 with no problem.
Yeah.
I am still bummed that nobody took a season. I get it, but I'm bummed. Yeah, okay, chat, y'all talking about food. I'm hungry.
Right?
Come on now.
I want chicken wings.
Give me some.
Hand turn in is an Earth Crystal, Party Rock.
Ooh. And that gives 9 key items, so yeah, we're going to be seeing that pan turn in real fast, because if we get 10, yeah, that's a big blanket deal.
Yep. Switch out hovercrafts. You don't want to be flying around the overworld with the Falcon for a few reasons. You can't pick up the hovercraft, so this is the better airship for that reason. Also, if you've never landed the Falcon outside of Troya before doing the Tower of Zod, just trust me, it's a bad idea.
Yes, but it's so hilarious because you see somebody, it's like, okay, it's literally endgame, got the pass, going to Z, and they fly over and they're like, oh. And now thankfully you can now land far away. Oh my gosh, what I just see? I just saw the thing I did. I think I saw the purple thing. We got purple. Oh, we got pass.
We got pass. Pass. We have go mode.
We have
has
go
the
mode.
goods coming
The goods
through
have
after the
been
pan
obtained.
is returned. Now we're getting key items.
So now a real question hits, because there are different ways to finish this fight. You don't have the grind immediately available. Do you try and do something different? Do you try and get 1200 HP so you can do the 1200 hit point strats? Do you grab that Eddie? There was an Eddie earlier on. Do you grab the vanilla Eddie and do Eddie strats? Like, those are definitely on the table if these two runners have those strats, available in their repertoire. This could go in a lot of different ways.
I grabbed the Eddie. I'm fine with Eddie strats at this point. Especially with no darkness crystal on hand. You can't, what is your grind? You couldn't even door grind if you wanted to. I think you grab Eddie and you go.
I think that's the right call. I mean, at this point, you're looking at just okay, right this instant, I have, it would be 20 to 25 minutes or whatever the number adds up to do Eddie strats. So yeah, if they're capable, it's not easy to do. I cannot do them. I don't think I've ever done them all the way through. I've tried. It's not easy. So if you're not capable of doing that yet, if that's not in your jam, you've got to kind of find a different way through.
Yeah, I've won a fight against Threemus with Eddie 3 times. 2 of them were true Eddie strats, where the party made no contribution beforehand. The third one was Reflect Eddie hybrid, where Zeromus took out the mages in my party before I could finish him off, and I brought Eddie in to finish the deal.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Exactly. If you have extra damage you can do before you have to bring Eddie in, it makes it so much less awful to deal with. Because yeah, if it's just Eddie and everyone else is collapsing on the ground because you've had nothing to fight yet, that takes so much longer. But if you can do some damage, and obviously an Avenger Kane's going to do some damage, that's helpful. You're going to knock 20,000 off before Z kills them all. So that's a big advantage.
And it's probably in a nice little sweet spot where you're not at all worried about it accidentally tipping phase 2, because that would be horrific. But you get a good start on getting Zeromus to that breakpoint.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we've seen Star Veils. I don't recall if we've seen Vampires yet. And Vampires make this a lot quicker to do the Eddie strats as well, because you can do a little bit of damage and get a counter nuke instead of just throwing out a crystal and just damaging with the nukes that get countered. Ooh, we have bonus round on the Golbez spot.
And reminder, would you like Eddie? Okay. I think that's a clear sign that Slippery is not going to Eddie Strat. If we had any doubt.
Yeah. That was my guess. Honestly, yeah. I mean, we'll see if McBain also has the crystal, so like they both have that idea in their minds. But it seems like they're both maybe going after the 10 key items, hoping to get darkness and do the grind that way, and then head to go mode, which is understandable. It's more efficient in a lot of ways. It's easy. It's not as like super close to getting wrecked as doing Eddie Strats. I was like, what the heck is that noise? Oh, Ghost Hand. Ghost Hand, best hand.
Ghost Hand is the best hand.
That's so good. I honestly, at some point, I want to ask, like, obviously, like, the hands are all, there's a couple different colors. You can get, like, the red and the blue is Golbez's hand, and you can get, there's, like a dark gray one that you get with, like, CPU and something, Evil Wall, I think. But then there's that ghost one. Like, what was, okay, so it's based on the boss sprite just, like, randomly?
Yes.
Or, like, is there something else?
It's based on the boss sprite. D-Mist will always give you ghost.
Well, right. But I guess what I'm wondering is, like, okay, so obviously, like, Board decided I want D-Mist to look really cool. And
yeah,
did it.
I would guess that the colors of certain pixels in the overworld palette end up getting translated to the colors of certain pixels in the hand.
Are we?
I'm refreshing real quick. We'll see. Yep, refresh is
we're good. Hi, we're back, everyone. Did anyone see Sheila 2, though? Because that got cut off.
Sheila 2 was the pass.
Slippery. Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Slippery got it. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. So both are now literally in go mode. So we'll see. Yeah. Now McBain has this info. Does he think, okay, go get that Eddie? He seems to be heading that way.
Because chat let me know that that's the darkness crystal before I saw it.
Holy snap. Okay, so darkness crystal is at D-Mist at Golbez spot, and McBain's going straight there too. So it looks like they're both going to get ramped up and do a grind right now, I would assume.
Yeah, now it's D-Money. D-Money is the call here. Grab your 5th character, whoever you want it to be. It looks like Slippery's going to slingshot a second Rosa off of Obs. Yeah, I can't hate that choice.
Honestly, I think that's probably the best choice right here, because there's no other Black Mage. The only one we've seen so far is Rydia, I believe. So you want reflex strats at this point. Like, you're doing some melee damage, Avenger's real nice, but if all you have is one melee character doing damage, it's probably not worth it. And if you get 2 whites and a nuke getting thrown out, which maybe getting Rydia to nuke will be difficult, but then you have 2 whites to throw out, and that's still super good.
Yep.
But yeah, the path to the 16th spot is very interesting indeed, and these racers are extremely close right now. I gotta imagine they're only within a couple of minutes of each other, and it could come down to how efficient the grind is to see who gets through fastest.
Yeah, easily. Get your setup right. If either of these runners are unfortunate enough to miss the manip on the first go, that could easily be the deal breaker too. That's part of what you're saying there with the efficiency of the grind.
Yeah, Slippery is heading upstairs now. So and he took honestly, like, now I'm thinking he took that Rosa. Unfortunately, he didn't go check the Moon character first.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's not worth the minute and a half to go up there and get it, though.
Yeah, if he knows Rosa's his favorite, like if you don't have any good options and you're like, but what if the Moon character is blank? Then sure, go for it. But he's apparently more than happy with the second Rosa, and can't blame him, really.
And most importantly, they will both have 10 key items at the end of this grind, so that's super helpful for them. Well, they already have 10.
Possum, I hope that he does. McBain does what you're saying. I would love to see Slingshot Cecil to ridiculous and set him up at 42 agility and put him at RA3. That and Rosa at Cure 4, you're done. No one else needs to be there.
Yeah, I definitely like taking a Cecil here. you've got enough gear to keep him strong, like he's going to survive some serious damage, and he's going to have such good HP for the end game. Which, you know, Rosa has good end game HP as well, but like that X-Cal, having an X-Cal with an Avenger, it's just going to do the work. You don't need to reflect anything. You just sit there and watch the swings and take a nap.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if anybody's got a Drain Sword, but Drain Venger, a little slower, but it's safe.
Yeah, it's definitely doable. That would be a great idea. But honestly, you got an X-Cal. Who cares? X-Cal is the answer.
It's always good to have a backup plan.
That's true. Fair.
When everything goes off the rails.
Which inevitably it does. Which is why I don't like Eddie strats, because I'm good at going off the rails. and when you have 25 minutes to make a mistake, I'm probably going to make a mistake.
There's no room for recovery with Eddie strats. You miss one input, you're even just a little slow in your sequence, and you're taking a big bang that you didn't get out of the way of, and you're...
Yeah, you can lose 20, 25 minutes with that kind of stuff, so it's a big deal.
I've done that, Zoe. I did that. I definitely lost my mind a little bit. My last, that hybrid Eddie one that I was describing earlier was a hit point ran out.
Ooh, that's one of the spiciest ways to finish the fight. That's awesome. That's so awesome.
I went nuts.
That's a pretty accurate thing to do. Okay, good. So McBain now, I believe, has this. Yeah, he has Star Veils and he has the Ethers, so he is good to go on everything he needs for the rest of the game, basically.
Slippery has determined what random encounter seed, random in quotation marks, he has. There are 255 possibilities because, yay, binary numbers. There's a chart that's been put together by Twisted Flax using data gathered by Simbu that lets you know if you take a certain number of steps outside of Baron, when you get your encounter, you can find out how many more encounters you need to make sure that your next first fight in the Giant is a D-Machine.
Yeah, and again, another place where errors really stink, because this manip, since you don't have the capability of doing the old manip, which would just allow you to kind of just hit the save point here and just kind of run some steps and get it that way, you have to do it on the blue planet and get the manip set up. So if you mess up the manip, then it's like an extra 3 or 4 minutes to get things manipulated and reset up. So you got to be careful about that, but it looks like Slippery's probably on the correct one because we do see the Searcher and 2 Beamers.
Yep. I think once I've seen this turn out to be a horseman.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. It can, obviously, but it's like pretty unlikely because there are other potential fights you'll see, and when you see this, it's you're very probably picked the right spot. So hopefully that is what happened, and McBain will probably be joining him very shortly. I don't know. I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed we got music from that Ashura spot, and that ended up not being used for anything. And that's a huge difference between these two racers. McBain stopped and did that Ashura spot. If he just split out of it, this would almost be neck and neck.
It was doable and understandable. We still have the hope for the music. The version of Free Enterprise that came out a little before this tournament got underway had a change where once you beat the seed and get as far as the solar system on the screen as part of the end credits, if you load the seed back up, you can just go straight to Edward's bed in Troya and talk to the harp there, and we'll get the music played.
Yeah, it was such a nice little quality of life improvement here because we have such a great meme factory in the harp, and the music is so fun to listen to, and everyone wants to listen to it. But originally, what you'd have to do is you'd stop the game, you'd reset, and you'd have to go find, you look for the harp in the credit thing. If you didn't have it already, you go through it, and you go through the credit fight, and it's a whole 10-minute ordeal, sometimes more, to get it. Yeah. And it's like now you just walk in, you say hi to Eddie in his bed, and you go click on his little harp, and you get the good tunes, and you get to dance around.
McBain, I'm pulling for you. You've won my heart up here in the booth. He's gonna do it.
Oh, he did it.
Cecil,
Oh,
he's gonna slingshot him. Let's do this.
oh, that's so hot. That's so awesome. Did he? Yeah, I guess he probably back road too. That's great though. I love seeing the Cecil here. Give it to me. Give me the like ridiculous levels, just totally stomping that Z.
Yes, I do love my power couple, and I'm really glad to see it here in such a big race. Going for that 16 spot. Everything's on the line.
Yeah, I mean this is really win or go home. So like, put out your best. Put your best foot forward. But yeah, for those who don't know, I believe starting on Monday we are going to be in the round of 16. So that is what we're playing for, the final playoff spot. So be ready because matchups are going to get spicier and spicier as we head into the finals. And we're going to be having best of 3 matchups. So next week, whoever is matched up against each other, we get to see them play up to 3 times. It's best of 3, so you might see 2. But those races are going to be unbelievably good.
Talk to me about playoffs yet? We still got a match to finish here. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, McBain is on his way to do this grind as well. There's not a whole lot to talk about, unfortunately. We can talk about more food stuff, but yeah, we're just kind of waiting for the grind and hoping that they're both very efficient in this, and it seems like everything's kind of going smoothly on Slippery's end, and McBain's just heading to the spot and getting ready right now.
Yeah, there's both grinds are going efficiently. So again, nothing to say. You've seen a D machine grind before. You know the drill. It's vulnerable to weak. It has fire. So that's an HP-based attack, so that's handy. Make sure that the weak hits, that's why Tella's in the center position and not wearing a cursed ring. And throw a life potion on it at the end to life glitch it to get extra XP. If you're really spicy or have a slow attack, you can get a double in.
I like doing doubles, but I also find that messes up my order of things. Like everybody's in the right order, but then I don't get to the same sequence of the 5 characters, and I end up having to run through an extra sequence sometimes.
It's been a very good race to this point, and it's still close. McBain does have to make up about 5 minutes. It is a decent amount of time, but McBain is just going to be able to go power couple overwhelming and just tear right through. Excal Avenger Cecil with a silly amount of hit points. Also, his grind should be shorter. Slippery is going to have to go all the way to mage levels. McBain's not going to need that many D machines to get Cecil Rosa online. So that'll make up some time too. This could be very close.
Yeah, that Cecil, I gotta assume is getting slingshot, and that slingshot's gonna hit big time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a 10 key item slingshot. This is quadruple experience for that Cecil.
And I think one thing it's interesting to think about, maybe I mentioned this earlier, but Slippery, does he go to get Nuke on Rydia, or does he just say, yeah, I'm good enough getting the whites on Rosa and don't worry about Rydia? Because that Rydia is not going to get slingshot. I think her levels are way too high and all that stuff. So getting to Nuke is going to take a minute.
It is. I think if he doesn't go, I think his Z fight's a lot dicier if he doesn't go to Nuke. I wouldn't dare reflect Shrats with double white, and I don't think Slippery would either. I think it would be hybrid. And that means he better get Kane to the point of survivability. And you can get Kane there in a reasonable effort, but it just makes it a little dicier. It's also going to take a little while if your source of damage is Kane, who one Rose is trying to keep alive, and you're bouncing whites and probably a couple of lit 3s before Rydia hits the dirt. So I don't know which way he's going to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Go to Nuke.
Okay, one thing I gotta say, because it's nerdy, is I love that this is a mirror setup here, that we've got the eyeballs facing opposite, and we've got the dragons facing opposite, so just amusing.
I do like when it's a mirrored setup either way, whether we have back-to-back parties or back-to-back searchers.
I love seeing like two players that I'm just like immensely interested in seeing how they do, and I'm rooting for both of them. Like mostly when I watch this, I'm rooting for Free Enterprise because that's who I want to win. I want to see something just atrocious, and I always kind of do. But in this race, like I just want to see a close match. I want to see something good. Like I want to see a really great matchup, and we're definitely not being disappointed. This has been close the entire time. It's been with a couple of minutes the entire time.
Did you see how the Searcher died?
Oh no, what happened? Crud.
Point ran out.
Oh, oh no! I hope the grind was over because now it's over.
It's over now.
Okay, that's blanking hilarious. But we got white for Rosa, so I think we're at least good on the whites.
Oh,
is
that
55 Rydia
well
enough?
Over. My goodness,
Oh,
Rydia's
okay.
55. That grind needed to end a while ago.
Never mind. Never mind. Wow, 66 Rosa.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this will crush a Z.
Yeah, I think he's primed and ready to make Zeromus very unhappy.
Yeah, you can handle this however you want now.
Z is going to go home and take the Gerzer Grams with him.
Okay, that makes sense. It was planned. So the virus goes on. The virus goes on beforehand. You start ticking away, and a week comes in, and you don't even have to swing. Gotcha.
Right, because it does the like
Very
10 hit
swag.
points.
I
Or whatever.
approve. I don't think I've seen anyone end it that way.
But yeah, it looks like we're headed someplace with a thing that the pass, of course, as people might know, is the way on the overworld we get to reach Zeromus' lair in the center of the lunar subterrane. It's some sort of weird dimensional thing. Don't think about it. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. I don't know. But you get to go hang out with Zeromus in his happy little, I don't know what, a man cave? I'll call it a man cave. The Zemus.
It is.
Well, anyway. It's a man cave, or it's a person. It's a something cave because anybody can be Zeromus. It does not have to be a man, obviously. But yeah, that's one of the nice things about this is as the flag we see is out there, the Z question mark. The question mark is we don't know specifically what the sprite is going to be of Zeromus yet. We know what Zeromus is. We know how the fight works. We don't know what Zeromus is going to look like. And that brings us to a very important question that we like to ask because we are a fan of the derriere here. And I would like to ask Commander what that question is.
Whose butt are we gonna kick this afternoon?
Yes, it is time to see who must be defeated. What awesome sprite of the 450 plus that have mostly been put together and put into this game by the venerable Scalakitty. We get to see which one of those here. I'm a huge fan of, well, I'm always a fan of Animalsmus, but you know who I really want to see is Chibimus. That's my favorite too. I have lots of favorites.
I'm still looking for Potatomus. I saw Potatomus back in the Fabul Gauntlet, and it was the first Z sprite I looked at and just absolutely lost it and went, so I've been looking ever since.
That was Chibimus for me, which for those who don't know is basically just a very big chibi-looking Zemus kind of animation thing. A very cartoon, like it's very cartoony looking. It's so adorable and hilarious. It's the best. Oh wow, and McBain is headed right into the same butt layer as Slippery. This is kind of heckin' close.
Close. It's gonna be a thing.
Whoa, what? Wait.
Oh my god, I've seen this before.
This is... The world ends with you. Okay, that's why I'm familiar with this. Gosh, the style of that game, just tremendous. Like, how cool is this? How cool looking is every one of those characters? There's a kangaroo with like a Joey in the pouch, and the Joey looks rad. Like, they all look rad.
So I guess for this particular Z fight, the table ends with you.
Ooh, snap. So many snaps.
Yep. So we're gonna have two different strats here. Slippery going to battle speed 3, and with 2 white casters and a new caster, we knew this was reflect strats. Threemus has a point in the script where his hit points refill because the amount of hit points that the developers wanted him to have was more than 16 bits could handle. But the reflect is a counterattack, and no counterattacks in this game trigger off of reflected spells. So if you don't deal direct damage to Threemus once you reach that point, you don't have to go through the refill and a whole new set of hits. McBain, on the other hand, is going to be hammering away with an overpowered Cecil, so he's going to tear right through that first phase and move on to phase 2.
Oh yeah, thanks. And Morpheus just saying here, the launch of the crystal was a $1:25.05 for Slippery and a $1:26.13 for McBain. We are basically 1 minute separated between the two of them here, and we'll see which one of these strats works out because like that's nothing. This is gonna come to the wire here.
All right, and we have a Silk Web early. There's a moment after the crystal comes out before Threemus actually becomes vulnerable, and if you queue up your Silk Web too soon, you're not going to get Threemus slowed down. That's not insignificant.
Yeah, if that's your only Silk Web, like not only are you wasting a turn, but if it's your only Silk Web, like you're wasting the ability to easily slow down Threemus. You're making that fight going to take a lot longer. So you definitely want to be careful about the timing of it.
Yeah, and typically you burn 2 turns at that point to cast slow turns, and at that point you've duplicated your Silk Web, but you're again burning time, and as close as this Z fight is, you don't want to.
And they're just throwing out the big numbers. Cecil with 4,400. Like, I think I saw the whites doing like 7,000 on Slippery's end. They're just doing solid damage right here. Slippery, I think, might have the advantage just based on starting this earlier, and those numbers are a lot bigger, but like, then obviously whites are slower too. So it's difficult to say, but I would say Slippery's in the driver's seat at this point.
I'm just gonna say this right now. Scala told you not to tie.
Yeah, they're trying not to tie. No, they're not. They're literally just like, forget it. They're probably like talking to me. No, I'm kidding, of course not. But that's how good. I mean, that's how good these two are. That like they have to fight for 16, and this is why, because they're both like basically equal.
Mm-hmm. Duke coming in for Rydia, landing almost for all lines. That's what happens when you run your Demon Sheet grind a little too high. She only made it to 55, but she's probably holding that Stardust Rod, and bam.
Oh, that's right. They found the Stardust early, so yeah, she's doing ridiculous damage right now, and then the 2 whites coming out. Like, Slippery is definitely going to blow away the first phase of this form and never going to see any second phase anything. So having less HP to have to deal with is a huge advantage too.
Mm-hmm. There's the over-leveled Rosa coming in with 7,700. Gets that white in just before the black hole comes in. That could have been rough if that had gotten the other way.
Whew, this is getting tense. Every time I see a shake, I'm like, wait, is that the final shake or the other shake?
Real shake? Because we don't have flash effects on.
Ooh, Slippery just whited his Rosa.
Yeah,
that hurt.
That was the one.
Black hole came in. That stinks. Oof.
He's
That's
getting it back
though.
under control. Already had the Star Veil ready to go on Kane, and is back to dealing damage and getting Rosa back up. So,
extremely efficient.
Up, but we'll see. Cecil on the other side, hammering away. 5,200 there, getting support from the Dragoons.
Boom! We get the crack.
And
Slippery in first place and making the 16th spot.
Makes it through. GG's. An official race bot time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 10 seconds. Getting through quicker with that extremely powerful mage party.
Took my breath away. That was the real crack. I saw the little flash. I'm like, yes, we have it. 130-10. So awesome. And Slippery advances to the playoffs. Let's see if we can get him in for
be within a minute. And McBain's going to be within a minute. You couldn't ask for anything better for the last race of the table to set up.
Absolutely. That's how hyped this has been. This has never stopped being hype, and it's just amazing. And we are joined by Slippery. GG's.
Hello.
How do you feel getting to advance to the round of 16? How does that feel?
Really, really good. I made it to the round of 32 during the football gauntlet, and I was hoping I could get a little bit further. And when I saw like all of the great players in this round, I was worried. Well, I think I might be stagnant, but luckily I squeaked it through.
Yeah, that was great. How did you feel trying to get underground? That was it was a little bit of a pain in the neck, but you got under there really efficiently. Did you feel like, oh, I have basically go mode headed underground? Like, did you feel ready to take on what was ahead of you?
Well, I saw the lunar sparkle, and I knew where D-lunars were, so I figured, okay, there's the only like really threatening boss remaining is Ogo. So there's a 1 in 3 chance this will be very painful, and a 2 in 3 chance of it being pretty easy with either Plague or Pale Dim. And luckily, I rolled well for once. I've had a lot of really nasty hook routes this tournament, so I'm glad the Seed Roller gave me a little bit of mercy this time around.
Well, as Ground Flyer said, that you got through it very efficiently, and that was the difference in this close race. McBain bounced off it and had to grind his party up to getting Rosa to blink. That's ahead of him.
And sorry to cut in just for a moment, but also McBain is done with a time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, 12 seconds. GG McBain. And I think we are also joined by McBain. So GG's to both of you. What an incredible race, like literally 2 minutes apart from the end. You were always close the entire race. How do you feel about your run too, McBain? How was that?
I thought I did pretty good. Other than the Matagor chest, I think everything else was okay.
Yeah, one of the things I think you did really great with is in the early game, you had those 2 dancing daggers that you found in the Watery Pass, and you just kind of rocked the entire overworld with those 2 dancing daggers. Did you feel pretty good having those 2 canes just kind of rocking everything the whole way?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with having fighters over mages, and I knew, almost everybody does this, so I knew Slippery was probably going to go with the mage route, so I was maybe trying to get an edge over him if things went tough and physical.
Well, unfortunately, there was no edge in this seat, so sorry.
Yeah. So, I have the same question for both of you. You both, around roughly the same time, work your way around to Sheila 2, get the pass from. You've got 9 key items. And we were wondering what approach you might take, whether you were going to look for 10 key items, grind, maybe do some of the 1200 HP strats, or pick up an Eddie. So, Slippery first, and then McBain. Once you had your actual go mode at 9 key items, what was your thought process going for?
Who first?
Slippery.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually pretty terrified when I saw the pass because I knew Eddie strats were on the table, but I'm not that comfortable with them. Shoutouts to any of my future opponents in the next round. So I kind of figured, all right, I don't yet have the Darkness Crystal, so I'm going to just keep looking for that, and once I get that, that'll be my 10th key item, and I can do my grind. And just kind of hope if my opponent does Eddie strats, it's either really slow, or they wipe, or something to get me back in the game.
Makes a lot of sense. McBain?
Yeah, I pretty much thought about the same thing. I did look at my HP, though. I was thinking maybe I would have done Vampire strat if my canes had enough HP, but they didn't, so I just said, well, I'm gonna look for the crystal. There were like 3 places I could look easy, so I did.
So yeah, I got a question, I guess, for both of you as well. Did you, at the beginning of the seat, when you saw the flags, what did you think then? Because obviously you're like, oh crud, this might be like really quick, but you don't really. You have 2 overworld checks that are like basically immediate, but you don't know where things are going from there. Did you feel at that point like, okay, I'm in a rush? Like how did you feel like you had time to look into things, or did you feel like you were constantly like having to jump to the next check to get it done as fast as possible? I guess we'll start with McBain this time.
I did think I had to go fast. That's why I didn't loot that much, so I And when I found the 2 dancing daggers, I was like, I'm just gonna go with the 2 canes for that because I didn't want to loot. I just wanted to go fast. But I thought if Darkness Crystal or even the Pass was very quickly found, just needed to go fast. Really, yeah, I felt really it needed to be done. I think.
Nice. Yeah, I can respect that. Obviously, given the nature of this race and everything, you definitely want to move as fast as you can. But like, I can imagine the pressure was super there. So yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Slippery? How'd you feel?
For me, it was, oh man, there's another one of these. I think I've played at least 3 seeds in the past month that had defeat Mist Cave and defeat Baron Ingards as one of the objectives. So yeah, I've got some experience rolling with it, but a lot of times those seeds also kind of ended up hiding the one final piece of the puzzle I needed kind of deep in. So I just pretty much played normal. From there, just my usual methodical, kind of careful style.
Yeah, and by the way, thank you, Slippery, for throwing down the music. We have it here, so I will be silent for a moment here, quick. But we have the battle theme from Lufia 2: Rise of the Sinistrals.
It's a good one.
Okay, but I won't keep you hanging too long. I don't want it to be like super awkward wait time. Well, how long is it going to be? But another question I have for McBain, when you went into Feymarch, you took out both bosses. Or am I getting the switch with you?
Yep.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So when you entered that and you were like, well, they're both doable. Like Bahamut can be done quickly with the Starveil stuff, and both of you did that, but you decided to take on the Dr. Luge spot, or the Dr. Luge fight as well. Were you thinking, I just want to get this done and not have to come back here? Was that kind of your thought? And that it was actually doable still?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's gonna be easy with the Avenger. Kane's gonna kill it pretty fast. Well, not fast enough, but it was okay speed, I would say. And I really didn't want to come back. So yeah, that's why I killed it.
Yeah, and I think that was a good strategy. I think honestly, like I totally understand where it comes from. It bites that he actually Slippery did not do that, and so that was a little bit of a knock in your direction in terms of time and stuff. But it was a very efficient check too. So if that was where Twin Harp was, so if that had ended up being value, that would have been super good on your end as well.
Yeah, I did think about going, but it's too slow. I had too many other things to do.
Yeah, you get the freebies.
Yeah.
Definitely. Gambit would like to know, Slippery, how you feel, because you faced off against McBain earlier this round, and he got the best of you this time, so you were able to turn it around this time.
Yeah, it's good to at least kind of be statistically back at that 50-50 chance. I think a lot of players this deep into the tournament, I mean, you put them against each other 10 times, and I mean, it won't be a wider margin than like 4-6 or 3-7. So yeah, it was good to get the revenge, I guess, and move on. But very good game though. That was incredibly close. I think if we stack up our times from last time, I think during the last time we matched up, McBain beat me by like 20 minutes. So.
So you got 18 minutes to go, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, you both did fantastic. I gotta say, just as somebody got to watch this race, it was amazing to watch. Like I said, literally the entire time, there was a check here one did, and a check there that the other did, whatnot. But you were both basically within like 2 or 3 minutes of each other the whole run. So it has been spectacular to watch you both play. I have a quick question for McBain, since you have been eliminated in this race. How have you felt in this tournament? How have you enjoyed the tournament? What are your thoughts on the tournament?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of things, especially rewatching my games that were restreamed. I mean, all the commentators, they know so much stuff that I just don't. So every time I did something and got a comment about it, like, oh, I didn't know that. So that helped me a lot to get here. So yeah, it was really fun.
You've done great, GG's. You know, you've kind of come out of the woodwork. You were a new name for us, and I think you've really shown that you deserve to be here. You've played awesome the entire tournament. So thank you for playing, and GG's.
Thank you. GG Slippery, you deserve it. You are really good.
Thanks.
You're both awesome. I've got one last question for Slippery, and then final thoughts from either of you. We've got a coin flip to get to. Slippery, you're moving on to playoffs, where instead of it just being a one-off against a racer, you get a best of 3. You think that's going to impact how you go at races?
I think if elimination's on the line, it would. I might start swinging for the fences a little more, but otherwise, I mean, I've gotten this far playing like I do, so I think I'll just continue with that and hope it's enough.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Either of you have any final thoughts? Please share them with us.
Just my apologies to all the bracketologists whose brackets I ruined by moving on.
Yeah, thanks, jerk. No, I'm kidding.
What they get for not picking you.
It's my fault. So. But yeah, honestly, GG's to both of you. Thank you both for being here. This has been awesome. This is such a great bleeping way to end the round of 32. And this has been a memorable race, and you've both played so awesome, and I'm just thankful that I was able to do comms for this. So GG's to both of you. And I believe right now we are going, or very shortly, we are going to be doing a coin flip of some kind for some particular reason. I forget why. No, I don't. But stay tuned for a moment here, and we will get to see who is number 4, who gets to make the 4th pick in the draft.
Just a quick shout out to everyone before that happens. Thank you, Dathis, for handling tracking. Scala Kitty for rolling up a nice, entertaining seed that was pretty jetty but had a couple of twists. And Groundflyer, thank you very much. Like you said it perfectly already. It was an absolute blast to do comms for this.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Commander.
Oh, hi. Baka, we've entered a surprise time loop.
Hi! Hello!
Whoa.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to what you're all actually here for, which is incredibly exciting coin flipping action.
Oh my gosh, they have a variety of coins you can choose from?
They have a variety of coins. I personally, I really like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel. It's very pretty. But if you
Is there any way to put the Figaro Brothers coin into random.org?
No. So I mean, we could use some ancient Roman currency if you prefer that.
I'm not really in the mood for Italian.
Let's go through. Let's tell everyone kind of what is happening here. So hi everyone. So I'm Scala Kitty, your previous restreamer, and now putting on the admin hat to do the coin flipping here. Let's get some more appropriate coin flipping music. So. Both Baka and Inven tied for strength of schedule, and so it is now a coin flip as to who will be number 4 and who will be number 5 for our seeds. What we're going to do to make sure this is 100% above the board is we're using random.org's coin flipper. So this is completely random. I have no influence on this. Inven and Baka have no influence on this. I'm going to flip the coin a few times just to load in all the images. And then to show everyone kind of what it will look like, you will see me go and do flip coin. I can do flip again. I'm trying to get both. There we go. Now we have both sides loaded. So you see the beautiful V, that is tails. If we see the lovely lady, that is heads. I'm going to go ahead and go back. So, gentlemen, are you cool to call it? In the air?
I think you should just assign one to each of us. Because otherwise, how do we decide who gets to actually call the coin?
This
like,
is
do we have
true.
to flip a coin to figure out who gets to call the coin?
Inven, call the coin.
All right. Baka has ceded it to you, Inven. So, heads or tails?
Heads, I'm for. Tails, Baka's for.
Okay, so if it comes up heads, Inven is number 4. If it comes up tails, Baka is number 4. Shall we then? It's tails!
Spoilers, my stream hasn't caught up yet.
Oh, well, there you go. It is tails. Baka is our number 4 seed now.
Ha! You
Hooray.
can go study, everyone. Enjoy your next few hours, nerd.
Study, Baka. Like Inven, my name is Baka for a reason. I do not do study. I do impulse picks.
I am looking forward to this, I have to say. I will be talking to you, Baka, after the stream to get some information from you, but I'm very excited.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Scala.
No problem at all. And also, just so that way everyone knows, we're going to go over to the outro screen. Oh, wait, I have to do something. I forgot to add my mic to the outro. There we go. All right, there we go. Draft is tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, same channel here on Free Enterprise. I hope that you all will come back and will enjoy a very, very exciting night. Our hosts for the evening will be Zoe Vermillion and Lore Master Motos, and you get to see the draft happen live. Do I know what's going to happen? No. Do you know what's going to happen? No. Baka, do you know what's going to happen?
I know there's going to be something silly happening.
That's good. Yeah, you can at least bet on that one. Don't worry, there will be VODs. Everything will go up on YouTube by tomorrow, so don't worry about that. I got you there, chat. But thank you all so much for coming and tuning in. And let's see, where are we going to go? I know where we're going to go. We have... We're going to go, and we are going to go raid the wonderful Jenica Strife, one of the people who is here in this tournament. And I hope you all have yourselves a lovely afternoon, and we'll see you back here, 9 o'clock.